Hi everyone, I'm Paul Siegel from Wandering DMs with more answers to your D&D questions. Today we're asking, can you play Dungeons & Dragons alone? The answer is undoubtedly yes, and there are a variety of products out there that can help you play Dungeons & Dragons alone. I'll be going over a few of those in a moment. But the more pressing question is it any fun? It can be fun, but possibly not quite as much as having one or more other people at the table. I've interviewed a lot of people about what they like most about Dungeons & Dragons, and the most common answer is getting together and being creative with your friends. In fact, what sets Dungeons & Dragons apart from so many other games is that openness, the ability to do anything you can imagine. And the reason you can do anything in Dungeons & Dragons is because of its reliance on a fair amount of improvisation from the players at the table. The more people at the table, the more improvisation can happen that will push the game into strange and unusual directions. These days, with the pandemic, playing online has become much more popular. However, it can be difficult to gather a large number of people online all at the same time, or if you're new to the game, maybe you don't know where to start. I would recommend looking at one of these games that's designed to play by one person, but play it with a friend. It's a bit like sitting down on the couch with your friend playing Zelda and passing the controller back and forth. The game wasn't designed to be played that way, but it can be a lot of fun having somebody else to share the experience with. I've done that a lot actually on our channel here with Dan, where we've taken a solo module that's intended to be played by one person, and the two of us cooperatively control the character together. Back in the early 80s, TSR, the publisher of Dungeons & Dragons, made a series of modules intended to be played solo. Now, you don't have to go hunting through garage sales or on eBay looking for these modules. You can buy them in digital form on drivethrurpg.com. I'll include links below in the description. Dan and I played several of these modules together, including Ghost of Lion Castle and Blizzard Pass. You can watch us play those in the link above. These modules were written against the 1981 basic version of Dungeons & Dragons as edited by Tom Moldvay, which you can also find on DriveThruRPG. Now, I know you're saying, this is very old stuff, Paul. What about modern 5th edition D&D? Well, I actually would recommend, especially if you're just getting started with Dungeons & Dragons, taking a look at these. The older systems are much more rules light and therefore a bit easier to approach as a beginner. Also, these modules are very much written from a teaching perspective. They assume that this is your introduction to the game, so that helps a lot as well. There are 5th edition solo adventures, and you can find those on DM's Guild, the digital publishing arm of Wizards of the Coast. I recommend searching for the word solo. You'll find quite a few of them. I haven't played any of them myself, so you'll have to pick through and find the best ones. Now, when we're talking about solo fantasy roleplay, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Tunnels and Trolls. Tunnels and Trolls specifically calls out right on the cover of the rulebook for solo or group play. And in fact, there is a mountain of solo adventures written for it. You can find these also in digital format on DriveThruRPG. The format of a lot of these adventures is very similar to the old Choose Your Own Adventure books. However, they interpose various game rules in the midst, so perhaps at some point you're told to battle a monster, and then you're referred to the rulebook for the rules for doing so. These are really great adventures. I've been playing these since I was a kid, and I absolutely adore them. I couldn't recommend these strongly enough. So that wraps up my review on how to play Dungeons & Dragons solo. I hope it helped. For more in-depth conversation on this topic, check out the Wandering DMs episode on D&D for one player. So if you like this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. We've got a lot of great content coming at you from Wandering DMs, including actual plays of D&D and Warhammer Fantasy roleplay, miniature war games featuring Delta's Book of War, and more insightful D&D conversations live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.